Oh, this is David Baumblatt from Terabinth Leadership. Let's talk about Asian women, white guys living in Asia now for over 15 years. Definitely have experience on this. And the reason why this is an important topic for leadership is one of the ways that America and the West is going to be destroyed. It's going to be destroyed internal. And this would be everything from immigration, diversity, multiracial relationships, multiracial, or you could say mixed race children. And this push, people say it's for the Jews, not going to argue with that. It's also from the Democrats, you could say, also from the Republicans like Donald Trump, cheap labor. It's happening from so many directions. And part of the reason that it only happens in the West, where as long as you erase your racial identity, then when you see the hordes of immigrants invading the West, or mixed relationship and mixed children, and you say, like I do, that's a form of white genocide or the white race. Once it's official, and that's the goal, once it's official that race is not real, race doesn't matter, then everything changes. Because what's an American? What's a European? If you take race out of it, and that's why it really only happens in the West. So, and again, I don't want to be hypocritical. I definitely am much more liberal having sexual relationships with women from other races. It is what it is. I'm not painting myself as a saint, but I've always said, when you have children, you bring mixed race children into this world, it's no longer an argument of two consenting adults, which is why I'm very liberal. Again, if two people want to have a mixed relationship, it is what it is. But once a child is brought into it, that child is going to get a citizenship. That child is going to be part of a certain country, and that is going to affect, besides the two consenting adults, it's going to affect the larger tribe, the fellow Americans, the fellow Europeans, and that's why I'm not a fan of it, not a fan of it at all. So let's just talk about first, let's just get to the bottom of this in terms of, you've heard of this Oxford study or Asian girls chasing white guys. Is it the truth? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's adamant. But what I do see is I see a lot in the West, a lot of white guys still, they don't understand this, or there's propaganda to push them in a certain direction, left or right, to conceal them from the truth. And the truth is, and this is not just Asian girls, but generally speaking, the most attractive men on this planet and the most attractive women on this planet, based upon the eyes of the beholder, it's white men and white women. It is what it is. There's no, when it comes to who's going to chase who, it's non-whites are chasing whites, both men and women. It is what it is. Here we come. This is a typical example.
Every time an Asian woman, and the craziest part about this conversation is every time an Asian woman talks about being interested in white men, preferring white men, even if it's not white men exclusively, all the men will always jump into her comments and say Oxford this, Oxford that, calling her a traitor, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of these comments are made by Asian men specifically to villainize women. And
so what you're seeing on that is, and I see what she says, I think part of it is there is a sense of jealousy from other races, blacks, Hispanics. Why are the Asian girls? Because there's no doubt about it. I'm definitely the most attracted to white women, without a doubt. But if you take white women aside, it might be Asian girls. I mean, it's me. So the point is, there are a lot of other men that are attracted to Asian girls. So Asian girls are not chasing them. They're chasing white guys. So there's a sense of jealousy for you could say, the non-white men. Now, I'm going to defend her stance, but we'll talk about Asian men in a second. Asian men are looking at Asian women as their property, and they get angry that their property is having sex with people outside their race. I'll buy that for $1. I feel exactly the same thing with white women. Don't like it when I see white women. But we're going to do a caveat on Asian men. There are many times I defended Asian men. Don't do it anymore, and I'll explain it here. So I say again, for the other races, I think they're just jealous. Like a black guy, he's like, why don't Asian girls chase me? Why do they chase white guys? Don't know. You got to talk with the Asian girls. Don't bring it up with me. Asian men look upon it as it's universal. Every racial group in the world looks upon their racial women as part of their property. Look at it. You could call it what it is. So white men are the same way. So Asian men look at their Asian women as their property, and they don't like it that their property is being handed out or chasing other men, and they get angry. Same thing with me, white men. That's not much different. The only difference is white women don't really do it to that extent. We'll explain it later, but let's just keep going.
Women is always fucking villainized, even though we are not even at the top of this systemic social hierarchy situation. Like, why are we always to blame? And what's so annoying about this whole Oxford study discussion is they're making it seem like Asian woman is some kind of like possession, that they're mad that it was taken from them because Asian men is, according to a study, the least desirable race.
That's true. I've said many times, Asian men and black women on the lowest. It's a very impolite thing to say. The truth hurts. It's not like I'm saying it, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if you ask men throughout the world, black women are just not rated high. They're rated at the lowest. What do you want to do about it? I don't know. It's like women. It's like women looking short men unattractive and tall men unattractive. If you're a short man, what are you going to do? Are you going to complain? You got to figure it out. Same thing with men. Asian men are rated at the lowest. Not saying me, it's the women. These are, you could say, uncomfortable truths, but it is what it is.
And therefore, with all the slim pickings that they have, and now all the Asian women are flocking to, white men, whatever, they're all bitter about it. But have you considered that maybe some Asian women like a white guy because of who
No, I'm not considering it. I know it. Now, I never said all Asian women are chasing white men. I've just said 99.99999% of Asian women are chasing white men. So there's always going to be a few Asian women that are not interested in white men. But 99.999%, they're chasing white men.
he is as a person, his personality, how he treats her, just him as a person, and not because the fact that he's white. Like, to say that it's racist for an Asian woman to have a preference.
It is racist, and I don't care. The world is racist. I'm racist. You're racist. Racism is just a biological fact in the world. So when Asian women say, I want white men, that is a very racial preference. What do I think? Don't have a problem. That's the world. But yeah, it is a form of racism, which is good or bad. But we got to go over. We got to become adults here. Everyone's racist, people. It's part of the world. Live with it. But oh yeah, these Asian girls have a preference for racially white men. And the more blonde hair you have, the more blue eyes you have, the more white your skin is, the higher on the hierarchy of their preference for you.
For people just because of their race, but then to also say that Asian women could only date Asian men because dating any other race would just.
I want to say this right now. I'm going to give Asian women credit that the whorish white women are different. Asian women are pretty particular. They prefer white men, but outside white men, they really go back to Asian men, which is good. I mean, I'm not saying that's the perfect thing if you're an Asian man, but unlike white women that will seem to be whore themselves out to this and that, Asian women really, they prefer white men, and if they can't get white men, they usually will go back with Asian men.
Means that they're a traitor to their own kind and that they're being racist and looking down upon their own kind. Like, either way, we're fucking racist. Like, is that the.
You are racist. I'm racist. Grow up, get over it, and move on. That's what I would say.
Point? Like, I don't understand this argument. So if we date a white guy, we're racist. If we date an Asian guy.
Let me talk to you this way, my little gook, my little chink, because I don't know. This is why white people maybe have superior DNA, because if you talk stupid, then I get angry, and that's when I get the racial terms out. Yes, we are all racial. It is what it is. But if you prefer white men, that is a racial preference. It's not me saying it, it's you. We're all racist. It happens to be, though, that the white man is the least racist person on this earth. Don't believe me? Who's not? Who's less racist than white men? Not. But yes, if an Asian woman, and it's normal, they don't have to say it is what it is, and we all have I have a racial preference. I prefer white women. There's no doubt about it. The number one person is white women. Is that a racial preference? 100%. Do I have a gender preference? Yeah, I prefer women. This is where they're trying to push men into transsexual to say, why are you discriminating against gender? Right? And then men are like, okay, I guess I'll be with a transsexual girl. This is preference. And when you have a preference, it means you will discriminate. What category? It is what it is. Some of these categories could be gender, which would be common sense. I'm interested in a woman. And the other could be racially. It is what it is. I discriminate against race. And guess what? Asian women definitely discriminate against race when they say they prefer white men.
We're also racist. Choosing who you date solely based on race is racist.
I could care less. It is what it is. But generally speaking, my number one preference is white women, just like the number one preference for Asian women is white men. So it is what it is. So the reason why this racism is very important is it's not directed at Asian women. It's not directed at Asian men or black men. It's directed at white men. Because until white men are like, okay, I'm not afraid to be called a racist, because one, everybody's racist, and two, as a white man, we're the least racist people. So relax. But it's important for the white man to realize, because until we start realizing that race is real, of course we're going to lose the West. I've said it many times. It's not an invasion by China or Iran or Russia. It's going to be internally. We're going to dissipate. We're going to fall. Why? Because when the white man is destroyed, diversity, immigration, racial mixing, do you think the West is going to be around? So, let's get over the racism. Race is real. Everyone's racist, but the white man happens to be the least racist people in the world. Let's just move on.
Having a preference for a certain race is not racist so long as you are with that person for reasons.
No, now she's speaking gook language. She's speaking her gook retarded. It is what it is. It's racist. Move on.
Aside from race.
You got to remember too, there's a reason why this gooky gook, she's speaking very fluent English, and my guess is she's living in the West. Why? Because she prefers white people. Think about it. If she preferred Asian men, probably she'd be living in Asia. Probably she may not even have to speak English. She speaks pretty fluent English. You want to know why her English is so fluent? To get white guys. People have always asked me, David, do I need to learn Chinese to get Asian girls? No. I mean, it helps. There's no doubt about it. And I learned Chinese more, not necessarily for the women, but if you really want to learn the culture, the history, everything, absolutely. Learning Chinese or Japanese or Korean, I think it's essential. But if you just want to get an Asian girl, are you a white guy? Yup, that's about it. That's about it. Trust me, they'll learn English to get with you. Just like this girl, she moved from Asia. I don't care, her parents moved. She went all the way from Asia to the West, learned English, learned white culture, everything. Why? To get a white man. She really wants you.
And I don't think we are out here choosing partners based on race. We are out here just trying to find a man who will treat us right.
No, she wants a white man. She's talking out her asshole.
Treat us good, and a partnership for the rest of our lives. Like I said, most of these comments are made by Asian men, and I can tell that they're very bitter and insecure about.
I don't mind Asian women chasing white men. I don't like white men. I mean, it's just my personal opinion. I don't like white men having mixed children with these Asian girls, but it is what it is. But my issue with her is I'm just calling her out for truth. Meaning, if an Asian girl says, I like white men because I love white men, it is what it is. But to say, no, it's not about that. I just happen to be, stop. You're lying. You like white men. You like white men's looks. You like white men's status. You like the culture. You like the passport. You like the mixed babies. It is what it is. The foundation is racial. Stop lying. It is what it is.
Their race. And I really don't think the fact that you're Asian is why women aren't dating you. Like, if you are going around.
Yeah, I do. I do think Asian men, part of the reason, we'll talk about Asian men and black women, they got it tough.
Leaving fuck ass comments like Oxford study this and like being so rude to women, I would encourage you to look within and see maybe whether there are other reasons why women aren't choosing to date you. Therefore, you feel some type of way about this. At the end of the day, everybody's preference is everybody's preference. Like, you can't really change that. Like, we can be aware of our biases, and that's really important. But to then shame people for their preferences, calling them racist, even though they're not being racist, I think is something worthwhile to consider and reflect on.
Thanks a lot. Enough of the education from her. Go back to Asia. Anyway, let's look at this. The amount of comments. Now, because I speak fluent Chinese, I do think Asian women, of course, these would be Chinese women or Taiwanese or Singaporean Malay, meaning these would be Chinese speaking women. I do think, especially when I get intimate with them, they tell me things that maybe another white guy they wouldn't. But I'm telling you, their view of Asian men is pretty low. But you want to know what I've also heard? It's the same thing when I've heard about black men, their view of black women, meaning black men just have very trouble finding their own black women attractive. You show me a black man who's got money, who's got fame, he's got a white woman. Same thing with an Asian woman. It's very similar. So it's a sad thing. It's not, nobody wants to say this. It's rude, but the truth hurts. Let me take this one point. This is where I used to defend Asian men. I don't. I'm gonna explain why. It's a very logical decision. We're gonna do this. First is a typical, I guess you could say, and let me put this caveat. When I was on the Ian Malcolm show, I was talking because I didn't get the feel of who they were. I thought they were white nationalists. Maybe they're not. There were these supposedly white nationalists, and guess what? They're dating Asian girls and they're probably having mixed kids, which that's not very white nationalism in my mind, the whole mixed kids things. But anyway, I mentioned this, it's the truth. Now, it's different in Asia as it is in the West. In Asia, 90% of the time, if you see a white man with an Asian woman, even the Asian girls, they call them losers back home. These guys are not exactly Mr. Testosterone, Mr. Stud for many reasons. Their intelligence, their looks, their job, their money, their education. These are guys who probably, I believe, want to get an attractive white woman. They had trouble getting them, and they just go to Asian. They get an Asian girl. I only say about 10% of white guys, and when I say with, I'm not in this group. We're talking like, having mixed kids and stuff like that. It's only about 10% that I've seen in Asia where you could look at this white guy and be like, wow, he's a pretty attractive, high status white man. He could get a pretty attractive white woman. Why is he with an Asian girl? And we all have these preferences. Again, I do frown on mixed children, but that's what it is. So it's about 90-10. And I said this point when I was on the Ian Malcolm show, and one of these guys got mad. He wrote me on X101. He's like, I went to China and I've got a Chinese wife and we've got mixed kids and I'm proud of it. Well, I don't know. Meaning if he was more secure of himself, maybe he would consider himself, well, I was in that top 10 bracket. Again, I don't know his status, but it is what it is. In Asia, 90% of guys are not. So this video is about a white guy in Asia. And he's saying it. You could be the dorkiest guy. It's not about money. It's not even your passport. All that helps. But if you're just a white dude in Asia, you're going to pull chicks. I mean, you should not have a problem. And then he's going to be countered by an Asian guy. I think this guy might be a Vietnamese. And this guy's angry. And I'm going to critique this. But first, I'm going to say that we'll just say the dorky white guy. Don't shoot the messenger. It is what it is. If you go to Asia as a white guy and you're a dork, you're a loser, you're this, you're gonna get Asian girls. It's you could have no money, you could have this, and it is what it is. So anyway, let's hear this story quick.
They are actually jealous. The reason why people make fun of you for Asia maxing is because deep down, subconsciously, they are actually jealous of you. Because when you move to Asia as a white guy, you can literally be like a 3 out of 10 and you can date like 9 out of 10 girls.
This is the truth. The truth hurts. It is what it is. He's not lying.
And they're like genuinely obsessed with you, genuinely attracted to you.
Okay, we're going to let the comeback. Now, I used to defend Asian men. He's going to talk, and I don't defend Asian men anymore because of this. But the truth is that you could go to Asia. How many times have I spent my own money taking Asian women out on dates? A big zero. I never pay. This is also the problem. I can't go back to the West per se. Once you get in this racial, or if I did go back to the West, I got to be in a bubble. I'm going to be like I'm not going to be able to socialize because you get so racialized in Asia because it's a racialized society that this stuff would just never be tolerated in the West. And the point being is, as a white man, you have a higher status than Asians. And if an Asian girl ever said, what's so great about you being a white guy? What? So you're a white guy, I need to do that. Then find an Asian man. Then find an Asian man. It is what it is. So here's going to be the comeback from the Asian man. And I'm gonna logically disagree with him on this.
You ain't the one, man. You ain't the one.
So the first thing I could tell by his accent, he sounds, I could get this wrong, Malay. He could be Thai. So he's South Asian, it is what it is. He's an Asian man.
Do you really think that Asian women care about you just because you're white?
We've just reached the level of retardedness. I would look at him and say, yes. Because remember, my experience in Asia is different than his experience in Asia. Why? Because he's not a white guy. He doesn't know. Just like I could say there could be black people that say, David, you don't know what I go through as a black man with racism. I would be willing, meaning we walk in different shoes. You don't know what it's like to be a military man, meaning you have to ask yourself what's in your shoes. But Asian men don't know what it's like to be a white guy in Asia. The offers that I get, it's because I'm a white guy. So he doesn't know. So his thing is, do you really think these girls are after you just because you're a white guy? Not all because of white guy, but 99.9%. Let's keep going with them.
Yeah, maybe your pocket money.
No, that's what they say too a lot of time. No, it helps if some people say they just want you for your money, your passport. I'm telling you, I'm not interested in marrying an Asian girl. The amount of money that was thrown my way. Now, it is true. Most Asian women are not very rich, but in certain areas, and of course, I focus more on China. I don't know about Thailand or stuff like that. I definitely know, though, in all parts of Asia, the attraction for white men, it's all pretty much the same. But in China, you get to Beijing, you get some very wealthy Asian women. It's not my goal, but I'm just saying is are they after my pocket money? Never given any, I can tell you that. So this whole thing that Asian girls are into your money or your passports, I'm sure there's stories about an old white guy retired living in the Philippines. But generally speaking, your status as a white man, it's pretty much good enough.
The majority of Asian people don't even see white males as the first preference anyway.
I don't know what planet this guy's on, but keep going. I'm gonna rebuttal him real quick.
They're seeking for Asian individuals that look like K-drama actors. Or
no, he's wrong. It's okay.
Mixed Asian guys. And
I should make a point, though. He is right. If you are a mixed Asian man, but you remember, when they say mixed, it's always with white. They're not mixing. Again, Chinese girls are not, or Asian girls are not looking for black guys. So when they say mixed, it's 99% chance it's white and Asian mixed. If you are a mixed Asian man with white and Asian features, and you're in Asia, there are a couple points that you would be a higher status from me, and that would be more for marriage material, because the Asian girl looks at you and says, awesome, he's got white DNA. But they also know you can fit in more with their traditional family because the father-in-law would say, well, he's Asian. So there is this mystique about them. And we're not saying you're going to score having sex with girls and stuff like that. They're still going to want the white guy. But if they're looking for marriage, there is that bit of that white guy transitioning. It's a Lawai or a Falang or a Guilao, a that. But if you're a mixed white and Asian, and we're talking marriage now, there is more of a smoother ramp to get into the family because you got the white side, which is attractive for her, but you got the Chinese side that's attractive for the father. So in some ways, that could be an advantage over a pure white guy. But we'll keep going.
Secondly, a lot of Asians even hate foreigners.
It depends on what foreigners we're talking about, not white people.
The only reason why some Asian women date ugly white men.
Notice there's anger in him. He's got anger in him. Well, and I could say the only reason why Asians date ugly white guys Because if you're a good-looking white guy, you're probably not going to be with an Asian girl. If you're a good-looking white guy, you're probably with a white girl. But anyway, we'll keep going.
It's because of their money. But as soon as a handsome Asian or Asian guy walks past them, they would replace them in seconds. So
I'm going to do a quick rebuttal on this guy. Just let him speak, though.
stop thinking you're superior, go back to your country, hook up with your own people, and if you can't, don't expect to get along with a high-quality Asian woman.
So the Chinese would say, 自卑感. There's an inferiority complex he has. And it's true. When you're in Asia as an Asian man, and again, I used to defend Asian men all the time because, again, I'm not going to take away your Asian girl. I have no interest in marrying them or having child with them. I mean, I've had sex with them. It is what it is. But I did feel sorry for him because you're flooded as an Asian man, unless you're living in more of the rural areas where you don't see many white men. But if you're in areas, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing, Tokyo, you see it all the time. You see these Asian girls flocking towards white men, and it pisses Asian men off, and it creates them an inferiority complex. You could tell he's angry. This is why I don't defend him anymore, and it's very simple. I didn't know this. It's absolutely true, because I'll do another video if we want to do stories for it. But Asian women have a fetish for white men. What I didn't know, and it's true, Asian men have a fetish for white women. So what you'll see is, and this is why I don't defend it, because they're hypocritical. That's what I'm saying, they're hypocritical. And here's the point. When you see the Asian men see an Asian woman with a white man, they really berate her, they downgrade her, they say bad comments, stuff like that. But if you see an Asian man with a white woman, and these would be the comments from the Asian men, they would say, dude, way to go. How can I get a white woman? Can you help me out? What's your secret? This or that. You don't see it much because generally speaking, white women are just not attracted to Asian men. I started seeing it more. Why? Because you'll see, if you start seeing very high net worth Asian men, particularly poor white women, and who would these women be? Ukrainian women, Russian women, very poor women. Oh, they're going to buy these women. And so the point is, I would look at the Asian men and say this, the problem that I lost respect for you is you look down upon Asian women chasing white men. And I get that. I'll buy that I'm the same way if I see that with white women. But guess what? If you have the chance to get a white woman, you will ditch these. And a lot of these Asian men say, not me. Well, truth be told, most of you don't even have white guys have trouble getting white girls. Most of you guys don't even have a chance. So don't act like, yes, I want to get a white woman. You don't even have a chance. But for those who do, and it's usually monetary, many times, and they want the same thing too. They also want that mixed baby. It's the same thing. If you are an Asian woman, they're really not attracted to Asian men, but you're also mixed, white and Asian as a female. Oh my God, these Asian men go goo gaga for you. So what I'm trying to say to the Asian men is you're hypocritical. That's it. Where white men, if you told me obviously it's easy to get an Asian girl, so it's not that difficult. But for white men, no, I think the creme de la creme is a white woman, meaning we are dating with our own. However, an Asian woman and an Asian man, guess what? You're chasing white men and white women. Now, there'll be a lot of Asian men say, not me. The truth be told is most of them don't even have a chance getting a white woman. So they're talking out their asshole when they say, I wouldn't want a white woman. Well, you couldn't even get her to begin with. So I would just say that to the Asian men and say, listen, when you see an Asian man get a white woman and they're far and few, look at the comments. I mean, it is absolutely on board, which is also interesting. Asian men are also like Asian women. They prefer white men and white women, but they're also not into black women or Indian women. Yeah, you talk to Asian men, they're not so much. They would love to get with a white woman, but if they can't get a white woman, they're with an Asian woman. They're also not dating outside that. So that's all my story with the Asian men is there is hypocrisy in what you're saying. And in terms of the flocking for white men, for the money, for the passport, that's all a bonus. I'm not saying that. But as long as you're a white man, and you don't even have to be that good looking of a white man, chabudo, that's about it.
And what, sorry?
Half Asian. I would like to have half Asian children, and I think it's more
opportunity for them and for me as well.
So you say half Asian and what, sorry?
Half Asian children.
So it's interesting. They always try to do this, but the Asians always say, I like to have mixed children or half, but they never specify white because it is. So that you have to make them specify white to show them how racist they are, which is fine. We're all racist, that it's white. But I think this comment will go, but they'll say, yes, I want mixed kids. Great. So you're interested in getting a black man having mixed kids? No, I never said that. Well, you just said you want a mixed kids. I meant a mixed kids with a white man. Usually that.
Children?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you're looking for like a foreigner from the West?
Pretty much something like that, but not specific for the moment. Like, it's up to the person that who am I with? Am I get along with them? Are we on the same page or something like that as well? But definitely it's half Asian children.
Okay, so you want half Asian and half Western?
Yeah.
Something like
pretty
that?
much. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, the Western means white. There's so many of this stuff here. Same thing will go to the next video though, but it's basically all white.
I love American men.
If you marry a foreigner, which country's man would you pick?
I guess Italian, American is possible, and German.
Tell me why for each country.
Italian, number one, because they're hot. Second, American. I love American men. And third, German. German men are just giving and caring.
Which country is number one?
I would say Italian, because I would love to live there.
What do you like
one day.
about them?
They're so romantic, and the love for food, and the whole thing.
Which country's man has the best looking?
I believe Germany, yeah.
If you marry a foreigner, would you want to stay in the Philippines or move to his country?
I would like to move to his country.
Yeah, so generally speaking, they have three wishes. If you could put all three together as a white man, you're going to fulfill their wish. White man, white passport. So, oh yeah, they want to immigrate, and white children. They want mixed white children. That's generally the dream of 99% of Asian women. White passport, this. Now, the problem in the West is, well, we'll just do another one here. And again, this is where you could see there's that sense of jealousy with the Oxford study. It just is what it is, but this is in the West here. We're going to do 2 videos of now the Western mentality on this stuff.
It's okay. That's all right. No biracial. That's okay. That's all right.
So here you've got a black guy. I think black guys are just sort of jealous because they want to have sex with Asian girls and they realize they're just not getting as much as white guys. I just think this is just a pure jealousy. And my advice to black guys is pay more attention to black women. Your mom's black. Like literally, as a black man, I don't know, force yourself, look in the mirror and say, black women are the most beautiful women on the planet. Black women are the most precious. I want to marry a black woman. I want to have, you got to force these black men because the same reason that Asian women don't find Asian men attractive, same thing with black men. We'll go into it, but black men are just absolutely enamored with white women, enamored to the point that they don't find their own black women attractive. That's a problem. So spend less time caring about Asian women, who they're dating, white women. Probably spend more time caring about black women. Why? Well, your mom's black. Respect your mom.
You are? Yeah. What are you mixed with?
I'm half Chinese and half white.
A classic. It's a good tried and true classic. Is your daddy white? Yeah, you white. You guys, at this point, all you can do is salute, bro. I don't know how y'all got this monopoly, but y'all are killing it.
Well, the cool thing about statistics is you start seeing statistics more and more and more. You realize, no, there's a pattern here. Hence the Oxford study, this or that. It is. Is it good or bad? It is what it is, but you got to start calling it out. Now, what we want to do is now we want to focus a little bit on one about Asian mentality in Asia. And I've said many times, Asian women in Asia absolutely abhor a man like me. Why? Because what they don't want you to do is they want to believe in the West that they're the same status as white people, because that's what we preach. We're all the same. But they know me coming from Asia, they're not. It's not. So you'll find a lot of this rhetoric in the West. Here's an Asian woman. We'll just let her speak. She's a Harvard grad.
Personally, they would like There are so many people who tell me to go back to China, but if I did that, I would get the Eileen Gu treatment.
It doesn't matter. Just go back to China. Be proud you're Chinese. Stop being a white worshiper.
They can't stand to see a rich, successful Chinese American woman pick the Chinese. They want us to stay here so they can abuse us.
No, we'll let her finish. She's staying in America because she loves white men. She loves white culture. She loves I mean, that's why. I mean, I left America. I mean, there's other Asia's not as bad as she thinks. She looks at Asian people in Asia. She's very racist too. She believes that her status, remember I keep saying they want to make you to believe that their status is the same in America. These same Asians in America look down upon Asian people. She believes she is a higher status as a Chinese American than a gook in China. That's exactly what they do. She doesn't want to go back to China because she's like, I'm an American. I have a high status and I get to enjoy my cow pie, as they would say, being an Asian girl in the West. She doesn't want to go down to live with the peasants in China. That's basically it. Very racist too on her part.
Us, underpay us, claim our culture as their own, and then claim diversity. If I took my book money and invested it in China instead, if I bought a little house there, if I moved there, and still made my money the same way by writing books and publishing them in America or in China, I mean, I've been published in both countries. If the racists got word of me leaving America for China, they would be so mad. They would be so mad that they can't hit on me in person. They would take it personally. They would say like, oh, she believes America is inferior. Yeah. Eileen went over there, got better training facilities, a bunch of modeling contracts, and like $20 million.
I don't want to change the subject, but remember, Eileen Gu, or like I like to say, Eileen Gook, her mom left China, went to America, and basically got a white sperm donor. That should tell you right there whose DNA she prefers. She got a mixed kid, and that mixed kid, Eileen Gook, she's only working for China for the money. She's staying in America. Why? Because she likes to flaunt her white DNA. She's going to 100% get a white man unless possibly an absolutely filthy rich Asian man. It's possible. Filthy rich Asian man. Otherwise, she's going to get a white guy. But I mean, I could go on to this, but it's a repeating story. She's a white worshiper, and it is what it is. She's not going back to Asia because why would she? She wants to live with white people.
Can't stand to see got better training facilities, a bunch of modeling contracts, and like $20 million. China is known for poaching like Harvard professors who are of Chinese ancestry and then bringing them back and treating them like kings. I have no moral qualms with going and taking my PhD from Harvard and doing my research over in China, being paid my worth and not being racially gaslit. Not to mention when I'm over there, men stare at me in like a flattering way, as in like, oh, she's so hot kind of way, instead of, what the fuck is that animal? Because that's how men look at me here in America.
No, actually, Asian men would not find her so attractive because Asian men are actually much more cutthroat than white men in terms of your age. Are you a virgin or not? They're definitely not impressed that she's Harvard or stuff like that, because we have to use common sense. If life was better for her in China, wouldn't she just leave? I mean, let's just use common sense. Why doesn't she want to live in China? For the same reason that almost everyone still wants to live in Western white countries or something. It's not everything. And I've said many times, the Western world is going down. But still, generally speaking, nobody treats women, racial minorities, and immigrants better than the West. Otherwise, I mean, I was born and raised in America. I left. Why doesn't she? Probably because she's getting treated better in America than she would in Asia or China. Otherwise, why wouldn't she leave? It's a very common sense question.
Unless I'm in like the parts of California with a million Asians. And I know there are a bunch of other Chinese Americans who think exactly the same way that I do. Tell us to go back to China again. Tell us to go back to China and we will. We will take our talents back over there, be treated like kings, and you will be so butthurt, even though it's exactly what you told us to do.
Go back to China, I would say. And it's not her fault. It's not Eileen Gu. I've said many times, this is all the fault of the white man. We should have never given them American passports. I'm more liberal with non-whites living in the West, but you don't have a citizenship, a Western, and there's zero path for you and your kids. Even if you have mixed kids, there is a zero path for Western citizenship. But as long as you can add value, I'm kind of okay, permanent residency, a long-term visa. But in terms of Asians going back, yeah, I'd say go back. I would say why aren't now there are more and more because as China becomes more and more developed, there are going back. So I'm not arguing with her in that sense. But overall, as an Asian woman, very difficult. Why? They love the white passport, the white man, and the mixed white kids. She's a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Jilted, because I think she really wants a white man, and her attitude is very unattractive. And I believe she's been turned down multiple times by white men, especially because she's going for very high attractive white men who are dating white women. And I think a lot of these white men used her for sex and dumped her for a white woman. So I think she's very jilted with white men, so she's pissed. She's not attracted to Asian men, or even she says she's sexual. I've seen a couple of videos. At the end of the day, she's chosen America. Even if she was born and raised in America like me, you could still leave. Let's do another one. This is with the black thing, and I thought it's pretty interesting here. This is with Asian and black combined. This black guy, I think his name is Geoffrey. I think he's from Nigeria, and he immigrated to America. Another very distasteful man who has come to America, and he's very disrespectful to America. This would be very high on the totem pole for getting deported back to Africa. But he has also this jealousy of white men. So he's using the Asian card. We'll watch the video. You'll understand what I'm talking about.
White men dating. I knew I wasn't crazy.
So again, so the black guy's up top. This is Jeffrey. He's an immigrant from Nigeria, and he likes to really disrespect white men. I mean, this is him. Thank you for coming to America and calling racism and white men. And now he's using the Asian token here to kind of put them together. But I'll make sense into this quick.
I knew I wasn't crazy. Yes, finally, this video, this man is explaining everything I thought in my head. I was wondering. White men dating Asian women is not an achievement. Asian men dating white women is.
Can't argue with that. So the first part, we're going to do it. If you're a white guy and you're like, dude, look at me, I just pulled an Asian girl, I'm cool. No, you're not. It's not impressive. So many Asian girls want to be seen with me out in public. It's embarrassing. But if you're a white guy and you have a beautiful white woman by your side, that's going to be a status. So if you're a white man, I mean, let me just put it to you this way. I think beauty pageants should be separate, like Miss Universe. You could show me the most beautiful Asian woman in the world. I don't know, Miss Asia, Miss China. And compare to, now I'm not going to say an ugly white girl, but we're just going to say the girl next door, like a decent looking white girl, just an average decent looking white girl. I'm going with the white girl. It's not even close. So the first part is saying, if you're a white guy and you have an Asian girl, that's not a flex. It's, I don't know, it's embarrassing. Now, why do I do? I don't know. I like to have sex from time to time, but I don't like to be seen out in public. It's embarrassing. Also, it's a little different in Asia because it's just a different, because there's Asians everywhere. But I say again, and he's right. If you're a white man and you have an Asian girl by your side, it's not a flex at all. It basically says, I'm a loser. I can't get a white girl. Basically. If you're an Asian man, and this is what I'm saying, this is why I don't defend Asian men anymore, because they're hypocritical. They want white women just as much as Asian women want white men. And when an Asian man can get a white woman, he will dump Asian women. He'll dump them. And when you see an Asian man with a white woman, he will show her off to the world. Partly that is correct, though. It's a status for him. He's like, look at me, I'm an Asian man, and I pulled a white woman. There's something about that Asian man. He's rich. Something's going on with him. So it's true. Asian man, white woman, status for the Asian man. White man, Asian woman, it's embarrassing. So for the first part, I'm not disagreeing with anything what they just said.
Every time you see a lot of couples, white dudes, Asian women couples, you see it all the time. Where I live, there's like 10 of them.
Now, again, this is the jealousy, though. Don't fool yourself. Black men are not into black women at all. They want a white woman first. If they can't get a white woman, they will still take an Asian woman over a black woman. So there is jealousy on the black man's part where like, why can I not get Asian women? And my advice again to black women is stop focusing on Asian women, focus on black women. for the same thing with white men. Stop being with these Asian girls, especially with mixed kids. Try to get a white woman. That's what I would say.
White dude, Asian girl. And it's usually a raggedy white dude. You know, I'm not saying that.
Again, I'm not disagreeing so far what he's saying.
There are no good looking white dudes, of course, but it's never like a good looking white dude. It's usually raggedy white dude, like real nerdy, some shit, with an Asian woman. Oh, come on. Woody Allen. Come on, let's go. And so I was like wondering, is there a website? Because something isn't looking right. It's looking fetishy. It's looking fetishy on both.
Well, it's not. So far, he's right. It's more fetish on the Asian girl because I still think these dorky white guys would prefer to get especially a hot-looking white woman. I do. So it's not a fetish on the white man's part. The only fetish I'd see on white guys' part is if you want a mistress, like a little variety. But if we're talking like your girlfriend, your wife, your main partner, I still think these dorky white guys, they want a hot-looking white girl. They just can't get them, and they say, all right, who's number two? Oh, it's an Asian girl. It's a fetish on the Asian girl's part. Why? That is their number one choice. They want a white man. So a little different on that. Let's keep going.
Parts. Something's going on, man. It's either somebody don't want to look too Asian with their children, or somebody wants their children to look a little Asian. I'm just saying. I know they had a big Asian meeting in Central Park. They had all the half-white kids, you know, in Central.
Oh my God, the Asians are the worst. The Asians are the worst. Another reason I have no interest in white kids. The Asians will be basically, I'm white. They'll only use their Asian part if it's any benefit, but they feel offended if they prefer their identity to be white, and they want to have that same status as a white person. And if you focus on their Asian, they don't like it at all. They don't admit it, but it is what it is.
I think it was a big Asian.
Because you got to remember, if they're so much into their Asian culture, then most of them don't even speak an Asian language. Why wouldn't they go back to Asia? I'm going to go back to Asia because I was born in America. I was born in America. I went to Asia. I learned the Chinese language. Why don't you? Not interested. Just not interested. They would rather hang out with white people. That's basically what it is.
Meeting, half white, half Asian meeting. I don't know what that was about, but whatever. But yo, this dude explains it, and he's Asian, which makes it even better, because if I talk, you guys will be like, well, Godfrey, you know nothing about blah, blah, blah.
JBW, or Just Be White, is the path of least resistance. It always has been. A white man can date an Asian woman who doesn't speak a word of English, and they don't even care if they can communicate with one another.
I knew it.
He's right on that. You don't really need to speak their Asian language if you just want a woman. If you're like, hey, David, I'm going to Thailand or Vietnam or China, I don't speak any of that language. Can I get an Asian woman? No problem. You'll get them.
I knew it because there was a law back in the day that kept Asian men from dating white women.
Anti-miscegenation laws across 30 states made it a felony for an Asian man to marry a white woman.
That's why when you see an Asian man with a white girl, you go, oh yeah, he got game. He got game.
It's huge. If an Asian man pulls a white woman, you got to remember, let's use common sense. Do you know what is an absolute role model in Asia? Bruce Lee. If you go to Hong Kong, there's a major statue of Bruce Lee. And I think highly of Bruce Lee. He's a famous actor, this and that. Who did Bruce Lee choose as his wife? A white woman, a blonde woman. And what do the Asian men say? Awesome, man. I want to be like Bruce Lee. I want to get that white passport. I want to get that white woman, and I want to have these mixed white kids. It is. That's why, like I said, I used to defend Asian men. I felt sorry for them because I said it's not fair. Asian women are chasing white men, but these Asian men want white women just as much as Asian women want white men. The difference is Asian women just succeed a lot better at it than Asian men. But when Asian men do, it is nothing but cheers in the Asian audience. Cheers.
You don't see that. You always see the opposite. Guess what? That's what it was. They had a law that kept Asian men away from white women. White men, you always cheating. You always.
So I don't really think you need a law. I don't think white women are that attracted to Asian men, just like black men are not attracted to black women. But you can see Joffrey, as he says, he's got also an anger issue, a jealousy issue with white men. Joffrey, I mean, you immigrated to America. If you weren't so much into white men, why didn't you stay in Africa and support your fellow African people and probably stop chasing white women, which is what he's doing? But we'll keep going. But you can tell there's a jealousy and anger with him toward white men.
He's cheating. You do the same thing to black. Everybody tells their daughters not to date black dudes, and black dudes still come.
Yeah, I don't want my daughter to date a black man. And if she wants to date a black man, I tell my daughter, then move to Africa. If you're into black men that so much, if you're into black culture, Africa, then move to Africa and have fun. But I think the difference between, we're going to do this video, right? The difference between Joffrey, the black men, and the white women, or the white men, is he is absolutely enamored with white women. But the truth is, white men, we're actually not that interested in black women. Same thing with black men. So I'd say, Jeffrey, is maybe stop worrying about white women and probably more worry about black women. That's what I would do. Because I can tell you, white men, we're not chasing black women.
Through. Yeah, black dudes got the most game. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And most of y'all, if you do got game from another race, you got it from black dudes. I'm just letting you know. You can get mad all you want. But it's so funny that there was a law, man. You're always cheating. Yo, you white dudes, you're always cheating. All right? Like I said, there are exceptions. There are white dudes that get women because they are good looking and charismatic. But this Asian girl, white man, I knew it.
What Joffrey doesn't want to admit is if you think Asian women are chasing white men, you have no clue what black women are chasing white men. It's even more. The reason you don't see that many white men and black women is white men are just not attracted to them. It's like me, and of course I could always say that, okay, but generally speaking, if you said these are uncomfortable truths, they're very uncomfortable truths, and as long as your intent is not to really offend, and you're just speaking the truth, but generally speaking, black women, to include me, if I had to look at races and I said which is the most attractive and least, I would probably say black women are the least attractive. Not saying that to be rude, you just got to pick your choices. And so that's the thing what Jeffrey doesn't realize is black women are chasing white men even more than Asian women. The difference though is white men just find Asian women to be more attractive than black women. That's really the point.
White men dating Asian women is not an achievement. Asian men dating white women is. Here's the uncomfortable reason why.
I think this is repeating. Let me just say.
Nobody claps when a white guy shows up. He doesn't need game, doesn't need charisma, doesn't need to overcome a single social barrier. The entire cultural and legal infrastructure of this country was literally built to make that pairing easy. Anti-miscegenation laws across 30 states made it a felony.
Okay, so I'm going to call bullshit on this guy. You want to know why? It's just, and this helps out the white guys in America. Notice it's always about legality, colonialization, culture. No, it's the same thing in Asia. It's the same thing in Asia. You could go to Asian countries that did not have colonial powers, like Singapore and Hong Kong. You could go to friggin' Cambodia. So what they're trying to do is, yeah, the only reason why these mixed marriages aren't more, or why white men have a higher standard is the legality of America or the racism in America. No, you can leave America. I'm telling you, in it's even more. Meaning the pursuit of white men by non-white women, I'm not just talking about Asian, is even, I mean, this is where it's the passport bros. The white guy in America, if you're a white guy in America and you said, listen, I want to get an Asian woman, is it easier to get an Asian woman in America or in Asia? Oh, it's easier in Asia. So if they're going to put these points about the legalities in America, all right, well, let's just go to other countries, because I'm telling you, it's even more pronounced when you leave America. So I think it has less to do with legality and more to do with what? Just racial, who you are. Let me just see this one thing. Now they're on the topic of blacks. Notice I keep saying that these black men have just this, what's the word I'm looking for? They have this preoccupation with white women. And what they don't want to know is, to all you black men, us white men, we don't have a preoccupation with black women. The same, and we're going to do this is all the time. Black men chasing white women. I'm telling you, white men, it's rare to see a white man chasing a black woman. And that's the truth. But here we go. These videos, this is now being interviewed by an Eastern European woman. It's pretty interesting, her comments, because it's the same thing. Are you into black guys? Why are you into black guys? But this Eastern European white woman, she's got an interesting answer.
Yes.
Never.
Okay, just so you know, this black guy goes around and it's the same thing. He wants to convince, wants to know why white women don't want to date black guys. Do you really see this much the reverse? Do you really see white guys going around asking black women, why don't you want to date white guys? Well, we don't. They do. I mean, it's not. And we probably don't even want to date black women. So that's why it's not even a program. But if you reverse it, it's the black guys with this preoccupation because they want white women. I find it embarrassing. So to the black guys, if you reverse it, I'm telling you, we're really not into black women. It's embarrassing. Respect your black mother and stop putting white women on a pedestal because you're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing your black mother. But here we go.
Why?
Because I'm white. Our kids will white. Also.
White.
Yeah.
I hope someday they win your heart.
Heart?
Yes. No way.
No way.
What's your name?
My name is Elena.
Have you ever dated a black guy?
No, never.
Why?
Because
notice she's obviously Eastern European. Think about a white woman, and this could also be for a white man. Notice how embarrassed we would get, or notice we want to be culturally in that culturally appropriate, not cultural. We want to be in that social status, saying absolutely, I'm into black people. Race doesn't matter. Notice we don't have to be politically correct. If you go to Eastern Europe, not so much. So I thought it was funny because usually the white women that he interviews, they're much more susceptible to say, absolutely, race doesn't matter. I love black men. This white woman, and she had a very positive, friendly response. She's like, no, why would I want it? I just thought it was interesting.
I'm white.
You're white, so you don't find it interesting to mix?
No.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in China. You said, David, do you find it interesting to mix children? No. No. Like, what is this? What is this communist bullshit that is constantly put in the West? Not interested. I guess maybe you're interested, though, Mr. Black Man. I think you're very interested finding a white woman and having mixed kids with her. But truth be told, not very interested, particularly with a black woman having mixed kids. But no, not interested. What would be interesting about that? I'm curious.
Try to do it one day. Will you consider doing it someday?
I'd like to date with white guy because if we create a family,
yes,
our kids will white. Also.
White.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't like mix?
No.
So okay.
Yeah, no. Think about this. Think how politically incorrect that would be for the typical white woman. It'd be more with the white woman. They need to be more politically correct. But even a white man, you're not interested in white kids, or you're not interested in mixed children. You don't want it. Think how uncomfortable the typical cuck white man, or definitely these white women, would be like, no, versus saying, no, not interested. I'm white. My mom's white. My dad's white. I prefer my kid to be white. Any other questions? Pretty simple to me.
What if you have if you see a nice looking black guy,
yeah,
who comes for you? Will you not?
Do you see this constant preoccupation? Because I want you to try to reverse this. Do you see many of these discussions with a white man convincing black women to date white men? You never see it. Why? Because we don't need to. I get chased by, even on these internet, the amount of black women that are chasing white men, it's ridiculous. So I'm telling you, back to the black, it's very embarrassing. These black men are so preoccupied with white women, constantly trying to convince them that, hey, we're not ugly monkeys. You can tell I'm being angry now, and I know it's very rude what I just said, but it's to the point to the black men. You're actually condescending your own black mother. You see it all the time. And white men, I'm telling you, sooner or later, we're going to get tired of it. But your preoccupation with white women is not even on the same dimension with white men's preoccupation with black women. Not even close. So you have to ask yourself, why? Why is that? I mean, you're doing it. We're not. We're not going around interviewing black women. So it's interesting to ask yourself why.
go for if you are single?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So it's not
I will look for white guy because in my culture, like it not depends to skin color. You know, it's my
your type of man.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
From Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Russia, Kazakhstan.
Russia.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a lot of black guys over there.
It's interesting. I had a good friend when I lived in Beijing. So in Kazakhstan, there's both Asian and there's what's called white Russian. He made sure. I was like, where are you from? I thought he was from Russia. I'm from Kazakhstan, but I'm Russian, meaning race. And he made sure, he goes, I'm going to get myself a white woman, a white Russian woman to have children. But I found it's almost like she's making the black man uncomfortable, because the black man knows that in the West, he makes white people, particularly white women, uncomfortable. He knows it because they're uncomfortable. When you get to these other cultures, especially me after living in Asia so much, no, it'll turn around. It'll make them very, very uncomfortable. But she looks at these questions as I know my Kazakhstan friend would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm a white Russian and my wife will be white Russian. End of story. Next stupid question. But they get away with this in the West because we've ingested more communism in the West than it is in the East.
That is a fact.
In my country?
Yes. You have black guys?
No, not much. Like maybe in 2 or 3% of population.
That is why you have not find them interesting. I hope someday they win your heart.
Heart?
Yes. No way.
No way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Do you see that? It's kind of a similar theme. Convince white women to date black men. Reverse it. How many times have you seen white men trying to convince black women to date white men? We don't need to convince them, but it's just this. We're going to go one thing, and this is to white women, because what white women don't realize is this same cultural Marxism and socialism, it was first started to enable and empower white women. That was the first, the feminist movement, the right to vote. The first was white men, because we felt guilty. We never should have done it. Giving white women the right to vote was the worst mistake we ever have done. So it gave power to the white woman. But it didn't stop from there. When white women, then when black men, black women, immigrants, this and that. And now white women are starting to realize, if they haven't done so, this formula, because it was usually always focused on the evil white man. Now it's coming toward the white women. And the white woman is realizing that if she doesn't have a strong white man to protect her, it's done. This is what I'm saying. This is now the pushback that's happening, where white men were used to it by now. Now it's happening to white women, and they're realizing this is not good anymore. It's going to get more dangerous. So this is to the white women.
Because the white women are no.
Notice the white woman in the back. You could just tell by her look, she's not very happy with this.
Longer the beauty standard. White women.
Also, before we begin, you look at the black woman, she has a lot of white features. I wouldn't be surprised if she's mixed. So I'm not even going to comment on this. I still prefer white women. I mean, if you prefer black women, I mean, go for it. But my preference is still white women. But that model right there, the model feature of a black woman, it seems to me, my subjective eyes, has a lot of Caucasian features. Probably not the best example to embolize a black woman, but it is what it is. But we're just showing how the blowback is coming toward white women.
Are no longer the beauty standard. If we're going to dismantle white supremacy, we got to start there, because the white man has made himself God, Jesus, and then he made the white woman the ideal woman. White women, you have been put up on a pedestal that you did not earn.
I'm telling you, to the white women out there, it's coming for you. You think they just stopped with the white man? It's coming for you. And I can tell you, as I've traveled around the world, nobody treats the white woman better than the white man. You don't think so? Be very careful. One day you might not have white men to protect you, but it's coming for you. You're seeing this. Hence the name Karen. I mean, you haven't seen anything what's happening with white women, but it's going to happen.
You have been put in a position that we are all supposed to aspire to be for no fucking reason. And that is why our society is the way it is right now. We're just talking women to women. We grew up thinking we're supposed to aspire to be you. But in this moment right now, you guys have proven to be the lowest of the low.
I'm getting a little too old for that hoary look.
Oh, it's going to be a catfight. And I think the moral of this story is multiracial societies don't work. And I would look at that black woman who has a bit of attractiveness. I would definitely not argue with that. But I would just say that if white people, like white people won't get along, then probably sooner or later you're going to realize that multiracial societies probably don't work. And we just need to be separated, because the black or the African Americans, they just don't want to go back to Africa because they were spoiled and they got a better life. And they look down, just like the Chinese Americans look down upon the Chinese. They do. The African Americans look down upon the Africans. So they're not going to go back. They won't do it. Their life is too good in America. So what's probably going to have to happen? Probably going to end up splitting in America. We're going to split in some way, type of racial forms. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. Until then, I'll leave you with a little bit of the Asian girls here. I still think Asian girls are cute. They have a sexy appeal with them. Just not interested in having kids with them at all. Nor do I believe that if you put them up against a beautiful white woman, oh, I'm with the white woman. But there is an attractiveness. I find these Asian girls to be kooky, chinky. They're cute little girls. Here we go, and we'll end it with this. This is David Baumblatt from Terebinth Leadership. I appreciate your support. If you could click like and send this link abroad, I'd appreciate it. Until then, to the Patriots, lead to victory.